This is IGN. Sicilian Style. This is your IGN review of Mafia: The Old Country by Luke Riley. Since its debut, the Mafia series has steadily marched forward through the decades. The original is set in the 1930s. Its sequel spans the 40s and 50s, and Mafia 3 unfolds during the late 60s. If the next step was going to be the 70s or the 80s or both, I was certainly ready. Casino intrigue, shine boxes, borrowing huge kitchen knives from Martin Scorsese's mother in the middle of the night. Whatever it was, I was up for it. However, instead of moving closer to the end of the 20th century, Mafia: The Old Country takes us back to the beginning, and not just the beginning of the century, but to the formative era of the Mafia itself. Part mob drama and part Western, The Old Country may be a safe and conventional third-person action adventure on the surface, but it's a moody and engaging one that makes great use of its uncommon setting and is brimming with old-school atmosphere so heady you can practically smell the sun-dried tomatoes. After experimenting with a more free-form open-world structure in the device of Mafia 3, Mafia: The Old Country returns to the format of the original Mafia and Mafia 2. That is, it's linear and tightly story-driven, and the open world is largely just a vivid backdrop to move through between objectives and during some missions. This has always worked well for the Mafia series, and The Old Country is no exception. This approach gives The Old Country an effective sense of place and scale, immersing you in a rich and evocative Sicilian countryside, but without the bloat. It's a very detailed, varied, and convincing map, but there are no towers to scale or arbitrary icons to visit and clear. Your attention is simply required on the story and the story alone. As a single-player sucker who inhales this kind of thing for its story, setting, and style, I was quickly hooked. If you're the kind of person who might be tempted to use the Sicilian language option alongside subtitles in the language of your choice, you're in the right place. If you're the kind of person who pounds through cutscenes craving their next chance to slap the citizens of Steelport with a giant purple dildo, it's possible the Mafia series may not be your speed. Beginning in 1904, The Old Country charts a chronicle in the life of young Sicilian Enzo Favara, who escapes a life of slavery in the region's dangerous sulfur mines, run by the ruthless Spadaro crime family, to find himself working for their local adversaries, the Torrisi family. The story hits a lot of standard beats, and all the usual suspects are here. The fair and kindly mentor, and the loyal best friend with a habit of testing the patience of others around him. The stern and powerful Don and his cynical consigliere, the slimy and treacherous rival boss, and the forbidden love. There are some neat connections to the existing games in the series too for fans who pay close attention. So yes, it's a fairly familiar and predictable 13-hour saga for anyone with a basic level of gangster movie literacy, but the writing is strong and the voice performances are stronger. Familiar too is the third-person action, as The Old Country plays like any typical cover shooter from the last decade or so. Even without engaging much of its rosary bead system of minor combat buffs, which I did regularly forget about, it's not a massive challenge with the default soft-locking aiming controls. The Old Country's stealth doesn't rewrite the rulebook either, but it does strengthen the action overall. Stealth is sometimes required by the design of the mission at hand, but on other occasions, it's available as an option. Mafia: The Old Country is an effective return to the linear and tightly story-driven format of the original Mafia and Mafia 2. It doesn't reinvent stealth, and there's nothing especially remarkable about its typical third-person cover shooting, but with great writing, excellent vocal performances, and a wonderful eye and ear for detail, The Old Country is a potent and immersive time machine to a rarely explored era. This may be the Sicilian cuisine talking, as I've never played anything with quite as much Italian fruit and food on show, but I think the Mafia games might have established themselves as the arancini balls of the business. That is, crusty on the outside, but on the inside, they're dense, tasty, and a little cheesy. And if you keep bringing them out, I'm going to keep going back to the buffet until the kitchen runs dry. Mafia: The Old Country's IGN score? 8 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest updates on Mafia: The Old Country, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.